Hello and welcome everyone again to another video. On today's video we have a new season 18, World of Wonders. I made a video going through the entire season, the cups and the moves. Make sure to go and check it out if you haven't. And in this video I am going through the top teams. Yes, the top teams. I know there is no teams yet, nobody played it, but this is my prediction into what are going to be the good Pokemons and the good codes and the good teams. This is based on the sims that we are running through PvP. And if you guys don't know PvP, I don't know how you are PvPing. Basically, we go through the ranking on PvP, and we could see that number one on the next season, number one on the list will be Cresselia, Lickitung, Registeel. Last season it was Lickitung, Cresselia, Registeel. This season it's Cresselia, Lickitung, Registeel. Gligar has been in the same spot. Carbink, I think, fell from number 4 to number 5. And we have Swampert in the same spots. Skarmory, decent Pokemon. Shadow Skarmory. Feraligatr. Feraligatr is a newly buffed Pokemon. They gave it Shadow Claw. If you guys haven't read the blog, they gave Feraligatr Shadow Claw, which is by far the best offensive fast move in the game when it comes to doing damage plus generating energy. And if we can go through the teams, I put them here and divide them through different categories: good lead, safe swaps, closets. So good lead is a Pokemon that has fast move pressure and the baiting move and a nuking move. The baiting move is to pressure the opponent and force them to use shields on like a charge move that doesn't do that much. So as an example, Gligar pressure shield through the aerial ace, which is a 40 energy move. Here Annihilate has Night Slash, which is a 35 energy move. Here we have Night Slash, but Skarmory technically is a good lead because of its typing. It has one of the most unique typings in the game, which is Steel and Flying. So the Flying denies the Steel weaknesses, so you are left with only Flying weaknesses, and some of the Flying weaknesses are denied because of the Steel subtyping. As an example, it's no longer weak to Rock and Ice because of the Steel typing, and it's no longer weak to Ground or Fighting because of the Flying typing. So it's basically weak to Electric, and it's weak technically practically to Water Pokemons because Water Pokemons resist Steel, and most of them has decent charge moves. So on the top of the list of the best lead, I expected last season Charjabug to be everywhere. This season I'm expecting Mantine to be everywhere, and for one reason: because it's the water Pokemon that destroys other water Pokemons. That's simply the main reason. It does fine into Skarmory, it beats Gligar, destroys Gligar actually, and it beats Annihilate, it beats Feraligatr. It's a water that beats all the grass, and it does well through the most of the meta, except for a Basti. A Basti would be a tough Pokemon. Same for Reggie. So Mantine has check all the marks for being a perfect lead into the next season. Safe swaps. Safe swaps usually a bulky Pokemons that can spam charge moves and also have a decent play against the entire meta. With some energy, they can flip their losses into wins. As an example, Licky can beat Medicham in the 0. And in the 1 and in the 2 if you are up energy. Usually people who plays Licky, they swap Licky. I mean, Medi doesn't exist anymore, but that's an example, right? Licky can still beat Annihilate if Annihilate doesn't have close combat. This is another example. Another one, Sableye. Sableye can beat Azu if you are able to land return and you have energy lead. Sableye can beat Mandibuzz as well. So this is what makes a good Pokemon a safe swap. Technically, most people run ABA teams nowadays, so they usually run a neutral lead and they sack their lead, whether it's good lead or whether it's a good lead or a bad lead, because people no longer play ABB that much. They lead something like Dugong, and Dugong technically does not have any bad game except for the Basti. Well, technically you can hit Basti with double super effective drill runs. They don't do that much damage, but at least you can do something. Sableye, we talked about Sableye and Licky and Azu. Those has been 2-3 of the best PvP Pokemons throughout the history of GBL. Mandibuzz fell off the meta and fell off the Great League meta multiple times due to the domination of stuff like Lantern, like A9 when A9 was a thing, Walrein when Walrein got two moves during its community day. Pelipper has always has a play. Like, it's a water Pokemon that is supposed to be other water, but technically Mantine does everything better than Pelipper. Whatever Pelipper can do, Mantine technically can do it better. Clodsire is like the biggest fail for the Pokemon to ever come to the game. It was supposed to get Poison Jab and Surf, as you guys all know, and the Niantic last second decided like, nope, you're not getting it. Just as simple as that. Dugong, a Pokemon that has been shining through the regionals meta. Like, I don't think you can play regionals now without Dugong, because it has like some annoying matchups where, like, if you spam, like, it's the Pokemon where if you lose a swap, it's fine because opponent will be debuffed to hell, and then you can just farm them down, which put them always in an awkward situation. Poliwrath has been like meta for like the past 2 seasons, and then when Annihilape came in, it just took Poliwrath's place. So Poliwrath isn't as popular like last couple weeks because of the domination from Annihilape. Now moving into the Closets. Closets are like technically Pokemons that usually dominate in the Zero Shield scenario, even through their own counters. As an example, Cress can kill Sableye with a Moonblast and Grass Knot. Cress can Moonblast through something like Mandibuzz. I think two Moonblasts. I'm not sure about the 2 Moonblast KOing. But that's in Ultra League, as an example. Cress can beat Umbreon if Cress is good IV in the Zero Shield. Lantern is a decent closer, like, and the biggest example I give about this is Lantern into Charjabug, where like Charjabug resists the Spark and does neutral Volta Switch damage, and Volta Switch is a way better fast move than Spark, and Lantern is still capable of winning the Zero, even though if we're talking about effectiveness, no, Charjabug is supposed to win, and that's where like stats comes in handy. Whiscash has been like the most annoying Pokemon through the entire meta, to be honest, and everyone is hating on Scald because it's just so annoying for a move that does so much damage to also debuff you. Bastiodon is the king of RPS matchups, where like you just lead Basti if it's a tough matchup, you just lose if it's something you dominate. You're just gonna win the game. Registeel is like a more fancy looking Bastiodon. It doesn't have fast move pressure, it's just a charge move pressure. Now moving into some anti-meta Pokemons, and the Pokemon I would love to talk about as always is Surfetch. I love using this Pokemon early in the season because people always run water stuff, and Surfetch loves to see those because Surfetch does so much damage from counter and put opponent always in Leaf Blade range. So if they are using water, Surfetch is just gonna sweep them. Frostlass is still decent, but the problem with Frostlass now, there is way more stuff that beats it. As an example, Frostlass in the past used to destroy Whiscash. Now this thing doesn't happen anymore. Obama Snow is always nice to use because people always run either Flyids or water Pokemons or even Grass, and Obama Beats loves to see those. So we talked about the Pokemons, we talked about the anti-meta stuff. Okay, don't sleep on Jumpluff. I used it last season and it was lots of fun. Now I'm going to talk about something called top performers. Top performers are the Pokemons that perform the best throughout like the high MMR, and like I'm going to talk about 6 Pokemons here. Dragonair, Shadow Gligar, okay, Shadow Gligar, Registeel, Skarmory, Charjabug, and Skeledirge. So those Pokemons always dominate, and they do have higher win rate than most of the stuff at high MMR games, due to like as an example, Dragonair. If you're weak to Dragonair and they have it, you're just gonna get Dragon Breath all the way down. If you're weak to Gligar, there is nothing you could do if you face this thing, because this thing is just a freak. It's not a Pokemon. Charjabug is the least performer here because it's like the problem with the Charjabug, you only have one move, which is Scissor. Like Discharge, it's like technically below average move, and it just feels bad to use. Skeledirge being one of the best ghosts into Lickitung, it's actually not that bad of a matchup. Usually like ghosts suffer against Licky, except the Skeledirge. It's the only fire Pokemon that's capable of hitting dragons with super effective charge moves, and stuff like I used it last season into like Poliwrath, which is a water Pokemon and resist Incinerate, and like I was winning because I mean, I used to be on like I would swap first, so technically I would be like a 1 second ahead. But the fact that like you have disarming voice is just giving you like so much play. Now we talked about the Pokemon, let's talk about the teams. And the first team I will be talking about, just to remind everyone here, this is something in this channel we admire, which is top 3 PvPoke. And the idea behind that, we just look at the PvPoke, we go pvpoke.com, we choose the best 3, 1, 2, 3, which is Cresselia, Lickitung, and Registeel, and then we put them in the team, we call it top 3 PvPoke team. That's like literally everything about it. So now moving into the top performing teams. Those are like the teams that performed the best last currently. Yeah, currently. And I'm gonna adjust whatever Pokemon that could be changed into a better Pokemon after the new update. And the best team currently is Annihilape, Lickitung, Registeel at high MMR. At lower MMR, you just replace Reggie with Bastion, and you get the most obnoxious team in the history of the game. Like literally, this is the most obnoxious team. The team is kind of weak to Annihilape, but if they don't have Annihilape, the team is kind of unstoppable. Like literally. Another team that has always been meta, which was created by the one and only to Tactical, which is Azu Double Ghost. And here I only have one ghost, but technically I consider Feraligatr this season a ghost because it has Shadow Claw. So most of your damage, most of your fast move damage is coming from a ghost damage. And the team kind of weak to grass, but technically here you're not weak to grass, because this thing can outpace the grass. You're getting a charge move in 5 or 6 if it's Ice Punch, and this thing can deliver some neutral Shadow Claw damage. And trust me, that in Great League does a lot of damage. We talked about this team, and now moving into a team that I love, and this is my favorite team. This is basically my team, the team I was running last season, and I'm going to be running this season, okay? Which is Charjabus, Azu, and Annihilape. And I made a video about this team. I actually went 16-4 in the Great League. And the video, if you haven't watched the video about this team, I recommend watching it. The team is 16-4. The video is 16-4 in the Great League with this meta team. I explained how to play most of the matchups. So if there is a matchup you want to check, just go to the video and watch the battles. A team I called Can I Have Fun, which is 3 Pokemons that are technically fun to use. And this team is very, very, very subjective to change. You could change anything and you could still call it a team, because Can I Have Fun? Usually people when say I am having fun, that's when they lose. So technically it's not a team about winning, it's a team about having fun. And the idea behind the team is basically, wait, I was supposed to have this. No, sorry guys, sorry, my bad. Yeah, the team was supposed to have this, which is Lileep. Lileep now can learn Bullet Seed, which was a legacy move that you could not teach through elite charge move, but now elite fast move, sorry. So now you just get it, you can just TM away to it. Shadow, Feraligatr, and Skeletor. It's basically double ghost on paper with a grass in the lead. If they have a Skarmory in the lead, you just swap out to the Alligator. If they have Whiscash in the lead, you're just gonna win because they will bring Skarm, then you're going to go to Skeletor and win the game. So those are the teams. I mean, I don't expect this to be a team, but I expect stuff around. But basically, I expect the stuff to be around Licky, Annihilape, Azu, Charjabus. I expect those 4 Pokemons to be the biggest beside Whiscash. So we talked about the best teams. Now let's talk about some very meta teams that existed in last season and will continue to be good teams. And the first team here I'm going to talk about, which is Skarmory with Lantern, or Whiscash, or both, and Cresselia. So Skarmory, Cresselia with a water, or a Skarmory double water, or a Skarmory like this. So if you are an ABB, you just run this. If you like ABC teams, you just run this or this. So these are like 3 different teams you could run from previous season, and they will still be as good. Cresselia being like one of the best answers to Annihilape and Whiscash, and Lantern here in case they decide to swap their own Skarmory into you. a different team. This is not looking different. This is a balanced team. This is more like, if you like Annihilate, if you like to use Annihilate, you could just do this. And yeah, you'd safe swap here is Cresselia, and Skarmory is technically your hard answer to stuff like Charmers if they swap it in, or like ice Pokemons in general. Well, they won't swap an ice Pokemon. I mean, usually I mean by that this is just the Frostlass if you're gonna because technically here weak to Frostlass, and this can get nuked by Frostlass. Another team I do like a lot, which is, I call it a neutral play, because this team has a neutral play from Dragonair and Vigoroth into everything, and with Lantern, just like as a Pokemon with some decent bulk. This Lantern can be replaced by many stuff like Azu, like Whiscash, like Skarmory, but like Dragonair Vigoroth core is kind of one of the best neutral cores, where like here, you're not gonna rely on alignment, you're just gonna rely on outplaying the opponent. And moving into the next team, it's an ABB team. I call it Double Fire, Catch Fire, Catch a Fire, which it is a Whiscash with double Incinerate users. The strongest thing about this team is that Incinerate is just so OP that even resisted Incinerate does lots of damage. So this is like the thing behind this team. A Mantine team. To be honest, Mantine teams usually like Mantine with something that has a neutral play into Whiscash, and another thing that lose to Whiscash. So here, Annihilate is kind of your Pokemon you use to bait out the Whiscash, but this thing does not bait out Whiscash. You could also run here Whiscash instead of the Clodsire, to be honest. But I had Clodsire here in case people, you know, like, because in case they have a Charmer in the back and you want to have an answer to a Charmer. I mean, most of Charmer now has an ice move. You could do also Double Dragon. Double Dragon is a popular team early in the season, but later in the season you won't face it. Why early into the season? Because people just want to finish their 5 sets as soon as possible, so they run stuff that can finish games in like a minute and a half. So Double Dragon is one of the best teams. You could run it with either Serperior or a Lantern, those being like the anti-fairy. As a DD Double Dark is one of the teams that has always been a thing. It never fell off the meta, but it might not be as good as they used to be in the past. Where like here you use DD to beat the Azu, you use Sableye to beat out the Azu, and then you rely on Umbreon to beat to outbulk basically whatever they could have in the back. Triple Charm is always a good team. We have a video on the channel called John Punish 3300 Battlers with this toxic team. You need this to be Shadow, you need this to be Shadow for the Triple Charm to work. And the Triple Counter team by the greatest Wallower in the world, which was made in Season 2, I think, is still usable. You just kick this for this. Because Toxicroak would like they give Toxicroak so many moves, and this Pokemon is still trash. I actually don't know how or why. I mean, the main reason is just because it doesn't have stats. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and if you guys like these videos, make sure to leave a like to the channel and subscribe, and so you can get all the new videos we post, especially early into the season. And I try my best to upload videos whenever the Cubs go live, so you can have a team, an idea about a team to run, or a team to just use. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and see you in the next video. Peace.